Hello YouTube and welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. Now today I have for you a Flamvell deck. I've been trying to make this deck work for months, ever since we got some of this Flamvell cards, and it always fell short because of the lack of defense in all of these monsters. So once they get flipped into defense mode, they're pretty much goners. There's not a lot you can do to protect 200 defense. But then we finally got this card, Spike Shield with Chain. I've seen a lot of people use this card in a lot of different decks. This card is super good in my opinion. Target one face-up monster in the field, equip this card to that target, it gains 500 attack. If the equipped monster attacks or is attacked while in defense position, it gains defense equal to its attack during damage calculation only. Now what that means is that if you have one of these monsters that have virtually no defense, you get to combine their attack and defense, and then they survive, and that's so good. I honestly think this card was 100% made for this deck. It makes the deck work just so good. But you guys will see that I'm using the skill Mighty as Fire with Bastion to get their attack even higher, because they are 1700 attack. He's 2100 unless your opponent has 8 or more. Yeah, is it 8 or more? Yeah, 8 or more cards in the graveyard, it loses 300 attack. But if your opponent has 5 or more, he'll be at 1500. So it's a pretty nice beater at the beginning. I only have 2 of them. I would throw in a third one if I had it. I would also throw in a third Grunica, but I only have 2. I would probably replace the Shaman. He's here just for the 1700. We have Neo Flamvell Garuda, which is actually a really good card. It's got 1800 defense and 1200 attack, so if you put a Spike Shield with Chain on it, his full defense goes to 3500, which is amazing. And it's a really good card. If you control another Flamvell monster, you can select one card in your opponent's graveyard and remove it from play. Now that is huge against things like aliens, against things like Archfiends, that even Red Eye Zombies, that they use their graveyard as a resource. You're able to just banish the card and take that resource away from him. It's a really good card. Shaman has a weird effect that never came up. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, while you have 3 or more Flamvell monsters in your graveyard, you can select one card in your opponent's graveyard and remove it from play. If your opponent does not have any spell cards in their graveyard when this card effect activates, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So that never happened in my duels. My duels usually didn't last that long. But Grunica has a great effect. Anytime it destroys a monster, you get to inflict damage to your opponent equal to the level of the destroyed monster times 200. So a level 4 is gonna do 800 effect damage to your opponent, which just adds up so quickly. We have 2 Cosmic Cyclones to trigger or skill, and for that back row, 2 enemy controllers, basic back row, 2 Wall Disruption, which works amazing when you pair it with Gamushara and or Spike Shield with Chain. You do so much damage to your opponent. And that's the last tech card that I'm using, Gamushara. When a defense position monster you control is targeted for an attack, change that defense position monster to face-up attack position. Then, if the attacking monster is destroyed by that battle and sent to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack in the graveyard. Now, this with Grunica is just devastating. Like, say you destroy a 4-star monster with 1500 attack. That's that's 2300 damage off of both of those effects, plus whatever battle damage you did to them. So this deck can win fairly quickly. But enough talking, let's get into these replays. Depending on when you watch this video, it's my second upload. It's really late. I should be asleep because I have work early in the morning. But I was watching my Rockets play and they were on fire. They were the inspiration for this deck, and I love this deck, man. Going up against Bonds using Red Eye Zombies. We see straight to the grave right away. And we have an amazing opening hand. We have Spike with Chain, plenty of back row, and we have our Garuda. The reason why I went with this is because I expected something like enemy controller to come out of that back row. But we don't see any enemy controller, so I take in the cheap damage. Any damage you can do with this deck, it's amazing because it racks up so easily. Your opponent will be in lethal range before you know it. We're gonna see the enemy controller here on my Neo Flamvell Saber, which is at 2100. And now I get to banish a card. As you see, the enemy controller, not really something worth banishing, but still. We're gonna see Samurai Skull. Now, Red Eyes are already aggressive as it is, but when you have a 200 attack defense monster, even if there's 3 back row, you're going to attack it. A mirror wall is still gonna destroy it. A wall disruption is still gonna destroy it. So they feel safe attacking the Neo Flamvell Saber. I'm gonna activate my wall disruption and my spike shield with chain. That brings him down to 1100, and my defense goes all the way up to 2800 for 17 damage, and that's the game. Nice and easy, man. That was literally 100 life points over exact lethal. So like I said, any little damage you can do with this deck, it ends up racking up and you win before you know it. Got another Red Eye zombie. Same deal, straight to the grave. Now in this starting hand, again, I know how Red Eyes players are. They play aggressively. They have nothing to fear because, you know, if their monsters go to the grave, that's good for them. So I just set my Saber to bait out an attack. I have wall disruption and I have Gamushara, so I'm gonna be able to do a ton of damage if he attacks into it. And remember, this is 2100 plus the 800 that, you know, they're gonna lose because of wall disruption. Pretty much I can get over any monster that the deck has. We're gonna see Gosuki, and because I saw the Gosuki, I actually ended up saving the wall disruption and just flat out activate the Gamushara. 200 life point damage from the battle, and then he's gonna take 17 effect damage from the Gamushara. We're gonna see a Gosuki effect on the Red Eyes. He decides to attack, so now I have the wall disruption. Another 300 damage, and we pick up the enemy controller to take care of that Red Eye Spirit. Very easy win for us. Econ Cheese, and take this 21. Got Yummy Yugi next. I'm probably gonna use this deck during one of the streams just so you guys can see how fun it is. I had a ton of fun. I played probably I want to say like 15 to 16 duels. I did lose a few. I almost ranked up to Legend 2 and ended up breaking pretty bad all spells in that game and got OTK'd, but overall it did very well. We have a Garuda and we have a Spike Shield with Chain. So we can do a bunch of damage if he decides to attack. He decides to attack with Trance Archfiend. Look at this defense. Look how high it's gonna go. 35, so that's 1500 to the face, even though he's at 5000 life points. I pick up Wall Disruption. We're gonna see Call the Archfiend. I knew this was coming, but the reason why I didn't activate this during his end phase was because he has 2 cards, so I didn't know which one was gonna be Call the Archfiend. And if you chain your Cosmic Cyclone to their card effect, the card effect is not gonna go through. Continuous trap cards have to stay on the field while they're resolving for their effect to take place. So because the Cosmic Cyclone is going to banish the card before the effect resolves, he doesn't get to summon the queen. I get to activate my skill. Look at that, 700 damage, 800 effect damage. We're going to see Archfiend's Roar, which is going to keep him alive, but I'm going to banish that Trance Archfiend, pretty much you know, taking away his graveyard resources, and then he just surrenders. Got Yugi Moto next. I tried so many different variations before today with Flamvells, you know, having cards such as Super Rush and stuff like that, and the way this deck works is just so nice. I really like this deck. Going up against 30 card Magnets, which is a pretty good deck, but he does break a little bit. We don't see the grass is greener. We're gonna see Delta the Magnet Warrior right away, and that's fine. You know, we're interested in the cheap damage, so we're gonna summon the Grunica. We can do that 800 effect damage. because it will add up. You'll see. Go ahead and summon that Neo Flamvell Saber. Attack the face down. Even if this was a Gamma, I would have been able to destroy it with Spike Shield with Chain. It's really nice to be able to activate this during the damage step. Another 800 damage, effect damage, and then we have 21 to the face. He's down to 200 attack. He's got the Beta, the Electromagnet Warrior, which can bring out a Delta. I have the enemy controller for the Valkyrian, but it's not even needed. As soon as my Grunica destroys the Delta, he's gonna take the effect damage, and that's the game. It adds up, my boys. It adds up. Last duel against Mako. Pretty quick duels. And this was Citadel Whale C stealth attack, but my opponent, I checked his deck afterwards, and he was only running one Legendary Ocean, and guess what I opened up with? Cosmic Cyclone. So bad news for him. We see him use Moray of Greed to get a better. He used Restart and he used Moray of Greed. We're gonna see Legendary Ocean, BES Crystal Core, and that's perfect bait actually. We see the Cosmic Cyclone right away. I'm gonna activate my skill. And the reason why I say this is perfect bait is because he can remove, he doesn't need to remove a counter. He can just target my monster, switch it into defense mode, and I have the Gamushara ready for that. We're gonna see another Moray of Greed. He's fishing out that Sea Stealth attack, but like I mentioned, I didn't know at this time, but after checking his deck, he only runs one Legendary Ocean, so his entire deck is dead, and it's just water beaters now. Tries to attack with the Hammer Shark, 900 battle damage, 1700 effect damage, and now it's just a matter of time. We see the Sea Stealth attack, it's not gonna help him. We destroy the BES Crystal Core. We're short on damage, but we have a 2600 and 2200 attack monster on the field. He suicides his Legendary Fisherman. This actually brings my attack to 2000, but I have plenty of monsters to clear his field and win the game. Get out of here, Mako. Fire over water every day, my boys. And that's it. That's it for the replays, I believe. Yeah, that was 5 very quick replays. And again, this deck is so much fun. It would be different, just slightly different. Pretty much, I would only replace the Shamans. They're here just because they're beaters. If you have more Grunica and you have more Saber, definitely put those in instead. Keep the Garuda though. This card is amazing. But that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description, along with my PayPal link if you guys want to support my channel, support my content. Really appreciate that. And until next time.